today we have Kirah Van Sickle. So Kirah, what do you have today?
Great. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm Kirah Van Sickle, and I am coming to you right now from my home studio, my home base in Wilmington, North Carolina. And I am a lifelong artist, illustrator, and a lifelong traveler. So I'm fortunate to be able to bring those loves together. I have over 40 years of academic experience and a career that spans well into 30 years in painting, illustration, and graphic design. I actually had a creative consulting business for about 18 years, and I'm a former medical illustrator. So, a lot of academic techniques and approaches. I'm all about fundamentals, and that's what I bring into my own work, and that's what I bring into my workshops and my on site classes. So I started teaching about 13 years ago, and that was through Yosemite National Park and their artist in residency program. And I call myself a nature art girl. I've always been inspired by nature, always been inspired being outside, and of course travel and experiencing new places. I'm very inspired by the geography and topography, and the cultural history that we get when we travel. So not only do I offer travel workshops, but I also am a studio artist, and I work with arts organizations to lead on site programming as well as art history lectures. So I offer quite an array of options. And my workshops might include more traditional approaches. I have a custom beginner painting series and beginner plein air series, but I also am very much interested in sharing contemporary processes. And that might include mixed media, abstract expressionism, or mono printing. So the world is our oyster, and I love connecting to people and connecting to place through art and through making marks. And so some of the things that I have here are pieces from that are plein air pieces from regions that I go to around the world. So even though my home base is here in Wilmington, North Carolina, I spend about 6 months out of the year, so it's oftentimes Southwest Florida, several months in Alaska every year, and then several months in Europe. And that might include workshops in Spain, Italy, and France, and leading custom workshops or doing artisan residencies in Alaska at Denali National Park.
Wow,
So
so sounds like you're having really fun.
it is fun.
Yeah,
It
you
is.
so you spend a lot of time outside your home, traveling all these nice places.
Yeah, and what's interesting with the pandemic, I'm also a college adjunct instructor, and
Mm,
I've been doing online teaching and online classes through the North Carolina Community College system. But with the pandemic, I was able to transition into doing online programming and live virtual programming. So I can do both, and that's one thing about us artists and teachers and educators is that we learn to adjust and to pivot. And oftentimes, oddly enough, I think that a disruption
mhm.
of our routine can actually bring out the creativity.
Yeah,
um,
that's right.
yeah, so I try to see, and that's where I think travel comes in and can be so invigorating and so inspiring, because you're experiencing new places, you're experiencing new energy, and you know, you get to open up to something different and something that breaks your daily pattern. Um,
Right.
yeah, so yeah, Alaska has been on my schedule. I've I think 5 years in a row now.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm really interested in the historical context of art, and so my workshops, I specifically customize them and choose places that have a cultural history, but also have a geological history. You know,
I
there's
see.
something about that place that that might be unique, and so you know, I'm all about preserving both natural and cultural histories, and
Hmm.
I think that's why Alaska, you know, it's just such a one
Right.
of a kind, unique places to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing, and that's one of these. This piece here is is a plein air Alaska piece.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow. That's
so
nice.
I encourage working in an impressionistic style. I'm all about fundamentals, and so you know, focusing on color, values, compositional cues. I do a lot of encourage a lot of nature sketching, sketchbook work, and then working, you know, alla prima out in the field. So this was a piece, yeah, that I had done back in 2019 at Denali National Park.
Wow. That's beautiful.
And then I did a whole series. I go to Italy quite often,
Hmm.
and this is an example of I teach classes about light and shadow. I teach you know, working in an impressionistic style. So a lot of European street scenes, urban scenes, as well as landscapes.
Wow. I love those shadow over there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's and you know what it's to me what it's about is um it's connecting with that creative self. I have a lot of students who might have gotten sidetracked. You know, we have busy lives, but then they, you know, they want to get back and you know, renew, refresh, and
Right.
reconnect to creativity. And to me, it's you know, we're hard on ourselves, and
Right.
so my approach is very positive. I work with the individual. You know, what is it that you want to get more confident with?
Hmm.
And so I love working with beginners, intermediates, and then I also work with professionals. I do consulting and I do advanced kind of classes. And I like, you know, challenging and pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone a little bit. So
Sure.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah. So do you have a more work that you'd like to show today?
yeah, absolutely. This is a big piece that's getting ready to go into one of our local juried shows, but it was inspired by some sketches that I did in Italy of hayfields.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, and I recently an online virtual class on um, you know, hay bales, hayfield landscapes, sunflower landscapes, things that you typically might see in, you know,
Is
in
it
France.
in Tuscany?
It's actually in Umbria.
Oh, okay. Umbria.
It,
Yeah.
it's an area right outside of Perugia. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And then, so my mediums, what I love to do with a lot of my classes and my travel workshops is that I want you to work in a medium that you prefer or that you're comfortable in or that you might want to tackle or take on. Um,
Uh-huh.
and so my background, I've done a lot of, you know, watercolor. I tend to work a lot and demo a lot in acrylic. But I teach with oil painters and pastel artists. So all the mediums are, you know, I'm very comfortable with,
I see.
and
So those are paintings that you just saw us. The three paintings that they're all in oil. Right,
These
right.
are, these are actually all in acrylic.
Oh, they're in acrylic. Oh, okay. It's hard to tell whether it's acrylic or oil because they look pretty same. But okay. But do you prefer acrylic to oil? Is that
So it just depends on what kind of process that I'm working in.
uh-huh.
Um, so I love watercolor,
Right,
for informal nature studies and formal paintings. Um, but I also love working in a mixed media kind of abstract
mm-hmm.
approach, and I can do that easily with acrylic.
I
Um,
see.
it's a little bit more difficult with oil. So um, when I'm working plein air, I definitely will work in all three mediums.
Right,
I find it easy to demo in acrylic because um, I can because it dries quickly. I can make my point, and people can see the results
right.
on the spot and much
Yeah,
quicker. But like you just said, it's hard to tell that whether these are oil or acrylic,
yeah.
because I'm actually using acrylic as if it was oil.
Oh, I see.
So I'm using techniques that are going to be the same whether you're using acrylic or oil.
Okay.
The benefit for me is that it's just very forgiving,
Mm-hmm.
and it's forgiving for the beginner student artist,
Mm-hmm.
and it dries quick, so it's much easier to travel with.
Right. Yeah,
So
that's true.
I do botanicals, and this is an example of a mixed media collage, very much more abstract, but
Mm-hmm.
actually inspired by geography, inspired by landscapes.
Oh, so when you said it's a mixed media, what mediums did you use?
Yeah, so I love when I travel, I love collecting ephemera. So I
Mm-hmm.
love collecting papers, receipts, and so I often will collage into my work. Um, Under some of the layers, I'll put in maybe a train ticket stub,
Oh,
or
really? You
a
use even receipts and tickets and stuff too?
receipts from cafe. Yeah, because
Wow.
it's personal.
Right.
I'm all about being a storyteller and helping artists tap into that storyteller, personal kind of a way of finding their unique voice. And mixed media allows me, I use drawing materials, I use pencil, I use charcoal. I might use cold with oil. I might use cold wax, and I might do image transfer techniques, using stencils,
Mm-hmm.
uh, acrylic sprays. I mean, there's so many great materials out there, and
Right.
that's a point that I would like to make, is that I am actually an artist educator for several materials companies, including Golden Paints. So I have been an artist educator for Golden now for about 8 years.
Oh,
I'm an artist.
really?
I'm an artist educator for Marabou, and I'm an artist educator for Silver Brush Limited. And what that allows me is I have materials knowledge. And
Uh-huh.
so when people are interested in exploring or experimenting with mixed media or traditional media, I can have these insights on what's available, what I like to use, what I've experimented with myself, and kind of the results, and I'm able to pass that on to my students.
Right.
So
Okay. And you also mentioned that you have some sketches that you can share.
yeah, I thought instead of a demo per se, that I would share my one of my Alaska travel sketchbooks.
Oh, wow.
I carry sketchbooks around all the time.
Uh-huh.
I encourage my students to get into a sketching habit, and so this has has been to Alaska several years in a row. But I offer ways of using watercolor, ways of using acrylic, and using pens and inks just to capture the moment, capture the scenes. So yeah, I thought I would go through, and what I end up doing is I might take notes, but I end up collaging as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I collect maps, stamps, and I bring all of that into the sketchbook.
Right. So it's more like your visual diary or something.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, yeah. So I thought I'd share, and these are like the sled dogs at
Uh-huh.
Denali, and just capturing the moment. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
plein air is all about. So,
Do you
um,
like writing too?
yeah, I
I
do.
just saw some writing on it.
I do. I make lists, and this is also from Denali. It was just a beautiful day at the railroad crossings, which inspired this painting.
Oh, yeah, right.
It's the same location.
Yeah, same clouds.
But what I did is I collaged an envelope into my sketchbook,
Oh, okay.
and so I can save my receipts,
Oh,
and
okay.
I can save, ephemera.
Yeah,
And then, I might use it in something else. I might come back to my studio and do a more formal
right.
painting,
Yeah.
kind of like what I did with the hay bales. And then, yeah, like, I take a lot of notes, a lot of sketching,
Mm-hmm.
and I was trying to see. I think there was like hasn't been colored, but this is the bottles of at a restaurant that I was sitting at dinner time one night, and I just was like, oh, I'm gonna sketch out the bar area.
While waiting for food?
Yeah, we sketch everything. So
Wow, that's so fun.
yeah, and then objects. These are shells, a sea urchin. Things that
Uh-huh.
I find wherever I travel. So
Yeah,
it's
great.
it's really fun.
Yeah. So, would you like to start talking about your upcoming workshops that you are planning?
Yeah. So I typically do a big Alaska workshop every other year,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm gonna have to I'm gonna put that off until 2023. But in the meantime, I'm really excited about 2022, and I think everybody is ready to get back out into the field and get back into some travel. And so the the big Keystone workshop that's coming up is June 11th through 18th of
2022?
2022. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a week long coastal Maine. And I've
Okay.
been I've been wanting to lead a workshop in Maine for quite a while. It's a beautiful artist refuge. Artists have been going to the coast of Maine forever, and
Yeah.
so it's going to include Portland. It's going to include the harbor area. It's a 7 nights, and then we're going to go to Bar Harbor, and then we're going to spend a couple of days at Acadia National Park. And
Oh, I see. Yeah.
and I'm going
The
to have
area, yeah.
local tour leaders that know the area, know the food, know the restaurants.
Right.
Because it's also all about the food and local galleries. I always bring in local artists to give artist talks or photographers, and oftentimes I do include aspects of photography in my workshops,
Oh,
because
yeah.
as artists, we're always taking reference photographs.
That's right.
How can we make take better pictures, and how can we translate those reference materials to the easel, to the paper.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. And then I also have late September in 2022, I have a Croatia Adriatic trip that's
Okay.
in the works. So, but yeah, I'm going to get the main trip. That's going to be ready to go this week to start, for people to start signing up. So
Okay. And meanwhile, do you do like online workshops because of the COVID?
I do, and and they range from beginner to advanced. They range in different topics. I tend to focus on fundamentals, so I
Mm-hmm.
offer like color theory, color 101. I'm offering I do drawing, beginning and intermediate
Right.
drawing classes, nature sketchbook classes,
Oh,
and
okay.
so my website, yep, I always have everything updated on my website, and
Okay.
then get them into the workshop finder as well, those listings as well.
To find Kyra's upcoming art workshops, go to directoryforart.com. Directory number 4 art.com. And here is directoryforart.com website, International Directory of Art Workshops and Showcase.
Can you find the Polly's Island one?
Okay,
Which would
let's,
be a plein air, it would be a plein, it wouldn't be a virtual. So do you have a separate category of just virtual classes?
yeah. And
Okay,
also, actually, you can search on the directory for location. There's an online on the top. But
okay.
this one you're talking about is, where is it
South
happening?
Carolina.
Okay, right here.
There it
Oh,
is.
there it is. Yeah, April 2021. That's so you said it's almost a full, or is it already full?
I just talked to them yesterday, and there's two cottages. There are some spots left.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you can sit accommodate more people?
Yep.
Well, we got our time now, but I'm so glad to see you, and
Thank you so
we'll
much.
make
I love that you're doing this. It's a really
yeah.
great